Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez and Pat Sherwood. The 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational is happening. We will let you know when and where later in the week. But the 4 teams that will be participating will be announced this week. The first one, the Pacific team. This was last year's Australia team, but we have added a man from New Zealand. Now we got to call it the Pacific team.
I think it could be potentially easy for people to overlook the Pacific team, and I think that would be a mistake just because they're full of 3 out of 4 rookies, really, and then you've got Cara Webb with a lot of experience, but don't count these guys out.
And I think if you talk to these athletes, they're going to kind of relish that underdog role. So Aussies and the Kiwis, they really kind of have some fight and some grit in them, so it's a role they could succeed in and then eventually make some noise at the Invitational.
Yeah. 4 team members, 2 women, 2 men, and then a coach. We'll start with the women, and you have 2 women who finished in 2 of the top 5 spots on the leaderboard at the CrossFit Games. The rookie, Tia Toomey, and then the experience is Cara Webb. Let's start with Tia Toomey. I mean, she really honestly wasn't on the radar until maybe Sunday at the Games when it looked like she might have a shot of finishing on the podium. What does she bring to the table here?
Yeah, she was really kind of the dark horse story of the Games this year. No one really saw her coming until she finished second at the Games. And really what she brings to the table is a whole lot of athleticism. She was a high-level 400-meter hurdler in track. She's a national champion weightlifter down there in Australia. She had 8 finishes of 6th or better at the Games. You look at the events she did well in: pier paddle, sprints, snatch, triangle couplet, midline, the pedal to the metals. And where Cara may not be a good sprinter, Tia is, so she should complement them pretty well, and she's pretty well-rounded to boot at being only 22 years old.
Yeah, Cara Webb brings the experience to the table here, finished 5th at the Games, and if not for destroying herself in Murph, she very well could have been on the podium.
I mean, Cara Webb, absolutely fantastic. If you take all the other athletes on this team, add up their Games experience, Cara Webb in a singular person has even more than them. She's just a veteran, and you mentioned what happened there in Murph, which I loved personally. I mean, she almost blacked out. She went so hard during Murph. It was so hot. That doesn't happen to me or most regular humans because when we start to suffer and it hurts really bad, I slow down. I don't want to hurt that bad, but then you have some nutballs like her that are so disciplined about winning that they will literally push themselves to that point. So you take someone who is as capable as Cara Webb and then is also that mentally tough, and you throw her into the mix, man, she's going to be a powerhouse on that Pacific team.
Those are the 2 women. The 2 men do not have the experience. They are both Games rookies this year. The first, Ben Gerard, who finished 15th at the Games, and then Kevin Manuel, who's the first man from New Zealand to compete at the CrossFit Games. He finished 17th. But Ben Gerard is a guy who's been making a name for himself slowly but surely and really was on the radar after what he did at regionals this year.
And not only a capable athlete, but a lot of fun to watch. So in his rookie debut, takes 15th place, but where he really grabbed our attention was back at regionals, specifically event number 7. If you don't remember it, go back and watch it. So going into event 7, he didn't have a spot clinched for the game, so he had to bring everything that he had. Event 7 was 15 ring muscle-ups, 5 squat cleans, ascending and load from 205 all the way to 265. That's a tremendous amount of work. Think about that for a second. He won the event. He did it in 1:17 in just explosive fashion. He was so fired up. So he's going to bring that passion and that energy about just being happy to be there and prove himself to the team. He's going to be a blast.
Yeah, Kevin Manuel, I know I watched him compete at the Games, but I still don't know if I know a whole lot about him.
Yeah, and although he may be a rookie, Sean, he's actually quite experienced as an athlete when it comes to being on the regional stage. He's actually been to regionals 4 times. He was 11th in 2012, then in 2013 and 2014 he was 5th, so he's no stranger to being towards the top of the leaderboard down there in Australia. He's got some experience, and I actually think that this invitational atmosphere is going to be a little bit more relatable to regionals than it is the Games. But then you look at what he excels and what he brings to the table. He's going to be a nice complement to Ben Gerard because he's going to bring some of that kind of spider monkey type athleticism, be able to adapt on the fly. He did top 10 finishes in the sprints where you kind of jump, move laterally. He did 4th in the soccer chipper where you have odd object, high skill with the legless rope climbs, and then a handstand walk. And then top 10, a 9th in the pegboard where no one really saw that coming. He just kind of had to figure it out on the fly. So to be able to have someone like that can kind of fill in the gaps and kind of adapt very quickly is going to be crucial for this team.
Someone has got to coach this group, and that person is Rob Forte, who actually competed on the Australia team last year at the Invitational. He's been to the Games 5 times. He brings plenty of experience to the table, but what kind of impact is he going to have on these 4?
I think he'll have a good impact, primarily because of that, his experience. He's been on this format before. He was a captain of Team Australia last year, and he's excelled as an individual. He's won the Australia Regional twice. He's been to the games 5 times. And although this is kind of maybe a consolation for him, I know he wants to be out there competing. I think he's got a lot of experience and wisdom to provide some of these athletes who are going to be new to this format.
Well, if these guys are like, in girls, typical Australians and New Zealanders, Rob's biggest challenge will be keeping them out of the bars until about 2 a.m., right? They throw down harder than anyone else in the world, from my experience. But Rob is a cool, calm, collected guy. He's an affiliate owner of Reebok CrossFit Frankston. I mean, he trains people every day. I've never seen him lose his cool at the games or whatnot, so I think he'll have that experience and that calming effect that the team will look up to. I think they're going to excel.
That is the first of 4 teams at the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational. Again, we'll let you know where and when this is all going down later on in the week. Tomorrow, we'll be back to break down the Europe team. A lot of pipe hitters on that squad.
Yeah.
For Tommy and Pat, I'm Sean. We'll see you guys next time.